So as we go to work today, we're going to need a pencil with an eraser, a sheet of construction paper, it can be any color you want, and your chalk pastels. So we're going to be drawing a pumpkin today. So you can choose to have your paper in this direction or in the vertical direction. So you could take and move, have whatever you would like. I'm going to do mine in the horizontal direction. And as I go to create my first pumpkin, I am going to go ahead and kind of plot it out a little bit. I want to leave a little bit of room for my stem. So I'm going to have the body of my pumpkin going from about here to here. So I can go ahead, if I want, I can start and I could draw with my eraser. Now this top part is generally a little bit smaller, and then it has a curve and a curve, and it gets a little bit bigger at this bottom edge. So it's smaller up there, a little bit wide across the bottom or across the sides, and then a little bit bigger at the bottom with a curve. Now I'm going to go ahead and trace this in a white pencil so it's easy for you to see, but you can keep yours in eraser or take it to regular pencil. So that would be the first segment of my pumpkin. So that would be the first segment of my pumpkin. Now when I go to do my next segment, I'm going to take and make it a little bit smaller off to the side, kind of making this little rainbow shape. And then I'm going to take and curve over, and it's going to be a little bit bigger at the bottom. And it's not going to be down quite as far. So it's a little curve. You wrap around. And that is the side of our pumpkin. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, take and I wrap around. And then if I want, I can go ahead and trace over that also with my regular pencil. So I have the beginning structure of my pumpkin. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep on continuing. And this one is going to be even smaller. And I put one on each side. So now I have the basic shape of my pumpkin, and I am ready now to put up in my stem. So with my stem, I like to start a little bit wide, and then I get a little bit smaller up at the top. And then I could take and trace that out with my pencil. And then at the very top, I just put in a squish circle. The last step is going to be to add in the back side of the pumpkin. So I'm going to come and take and put in one curve and another. So I'll show you on the other side. I come over a little ways, I put in a curve up to my stem, and then I could put in another. And that will give me the back side of my pumpkin. And I am ready now to go ahead and start to take in my color. Now I really like to add in value to my color. It's up to you. And I'm going to be using my warm colors. So I'm going to be using my yellows, orange, and red. I might throw in some white as well. So these are going to be the main colors that I work with today. And I like to go in and know that you can do anything you want, any colors you want. So I'm going to start with yellow in my middle. I'm going to do just this first segment. And then I'm going to take and put orange in around that. And I'm going to take that orange out pretty much all the way out to that first line. And then I'm going to take my red and do an outline. Now I can take my finger, I start in the middle, I blend my yellow, and then I blend that yellow into my orange. And then I blend my orange out into my red. And then I can kind of take my finger back over and through the center again. And you're going to notice you have some chalk residue. You can take a sheet of scratch paper and you tap it off. You don't want to blow it all because you don't want to breathe that dust in. And I can take and set that to the side. So I have my first segment. Now I can move into my next segment where I take in my yellow. I'm going to do it on both sides. Then I'm going to go ahead and take in my orange. And you can take and put red around it. And then go ahead and blend. And then after I finish doing the pumpkin, then I can go ahead and do my stem. I can do that in browns or greens or both, or a whole different color if I'm doing something creative. I'm going to use a little bit of brown and green in mine. I'm going to take and tap that off. Now I can go ahead and either add more pumpkins if I want to, or I could put in a background. When I go to do my background, I can make any kind of background I want. If I want it sitting on the ground, I can easily just come partway up my pumpkin and put in some kind of a line. And that instantly gives me a sky and a field. And then I can take and do whatever I want in that space. And you can always turn your chalks on the side. That lets you put a lot of color down easily. But you can do anything you want in your background, have any color you want in your background. You can really just have fun with that. And the same with your sky. Now one thing I like to do at the very end is I like to take a darker color and come in right underneath the pumpkin and put in a little bit of a shadow. And you could even use a little bit of black if you want to. And that'll make your pumpkin look like it's sitting on the ground a little bit more. And if you went up into your pumpkin, you can just take your warm colors back into your pumpkin and just go back over the top of it. I could easily take yellow, orange, red back in there. And then my last step is I'm going to do my sky. You could have your pumpkin be daytime or nighttime. It's up to you. And at the very end, I'm going to tap it off. And there I have a pumpkin. Thanks for joining me today.